Welcome to Math 143 Online. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this class is to log into your Moodle account. So once you get logged in there, you should see in one of your classes is a Math 143. So once you get to the Moodle part of the class, there's another link here, like if you didn't watch this video when I sent it out in an email, you can click on here and see the tour of Math 143. But everything else in this list over here will be locked down based on this one assignment. So the first thing you should do when you get into Moodle is click on the Enrollment Verification, take the assignment. It's a non-graded assignment. And what it'll do, it'll unlock all of this stuff so you can see other things built into this course. So after you do this introduction and the enrollment verification, you can scroll through and see the syllabus for the course, some notes on how the course works. Hopefully this video will take care of most of that. And then formulas, if you know, something you could print off and use throughout the class. And then a little bit about me. The other part of it that you really want to get into after the enrollment verification is this Mobius part. So this Mobius is a new version of it, so it's a little bit different than my previous ones if you've taken this class before. So there's new directions on how to get access to my class through the web store. If you bought the access through the bookstore, you'll be prompted to put the code in eventually. And if you have already taken this class, send me an email and I'll get your account straight for this semester. So it's a one link thing now. Instead of two separate links to get to the class, all you have to do is click on this link and go through the sign-in process and or the sign-up process. So they just combined it as one single link rather than two separate ones. And then there's a what to do once you enter Mobius. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, other things that are on Moodle. The assignment calendar is here and in Mobius. I posted it in both places. Use this calendar only for due dates. Don't use the calendar that you see in Mobius. This is the only one you really should depend on. So when you, strange new error, when you get to that page where the link is, eventually the error message, just click OK and then click read more and it'll pull up my calendar. I don't know what's going on there. I'll look into it, try to fix it. So it'll have all your due dates for the labs, the projects, the quizzes, and the work is in the background. So for instance, quiz 1-1 here in the summer was due on this 25th. But before that, they would have to have finished the assignments for 1-1A and 1-1B. And I have a little blurb about that below this calendar. So go by this calendar for due dates. This is a mastery class, so you can fall a little bit behind. Certain due dates are set in stones. Generally, they're the labs and certain quizzes. There's also a tutoring appointment link here and in Mobius, so depending on where you log into, you just have to get to this page. Now, yours is going to look a little different. It's only going to show these buttons off, on certain days. And for this COVID version, you have to be really careful with the titles. So this tutoring appointment is a face-to-face tutoring appointment. And then if you click on this one says get a private Google Meet. So that would be an online tutoring appointment. Just select one of them. If it's a Google Meet, I'll have to send you a invite to the Google Meet so you can get the code and all that fun stuff. If it's face-to-face, I will tell you what room we're going to be in, and it'll be small because of the COVID situation. All right. And then a lot of this will be doing Google Sheets. Our labs and projects will be based on spreadsheets. So this video here that is posted is really important to view throughout the semester. There's different little pieces that you'll need to be able to do some of these labs and projects. And this gives you an example of how to get to Google Sheets from your email. There's a stock project. It goes throughout the whole semester. There are 5 of them. I have to get the stock project 5 built in there. The directions for them show up above, and the submission points for them are these blue assignment links. The modules will be where you find the lecture videos. You'll be taking notes from these. You can resize your pictures in Windows in case they're too big to download, because I expect you to upload your pictures just like a regular assignment. It'll take up to 10 megabytes per picture. So if they're too big, you can use these directions up here to make the file sizes smaller. And the lecture videos themselves and the short videos that are bottom of the page are all based on YouTube. So the 1.1a lecture and the 1.1b lecture obviously go to assignment 1.1a and 1.1b. And when you finish those two, you can do quiz 1-1. And then so forth and so on throughout the rest of the semester. So that's the Moodle side of the course. There is no grades that will be posted in Moodle. Everything is going to be moved over to Mobius. So let me show you what Mobius looks like. So once you have an account set up, and please follow the directions that are in Moodle, log into your account, and for the summer, I have this class that I entered as a student, and I just wanted to show you from this point how the class is going to look. Now yours is going to have a different name, so just click on that. Now above, since this was summer, I changed a few of the links. The calendar link should be the top one, and the bottom one will be a tutoring link. But it basically looks like this. It'll be between, I think, 2 green bars instead. So the first thing you need to do in Mobius is this how Mobius works. And when you go through it, the process is to get these little check boxes up here saying you finished the slideshow and you finish each one of these. And you need a checkbox next to each one of them to get a passing grade on this so you can move on to the next assignment. So this class is really layered in the sense that you have to finish one thing before you can even move on. And that's the idea of mastery. So there's questions here you have to answer. So this is 3, -6, so that should be 11. And you can verify. And if you get it wrong, you can always hit start over or try another. So I got that one right. So this is 17/11. And the numbers will change automatically, so they're not always the same. And once you get them all correct, it'll give you a green check, and you can move on to solving equations, rounding significant digits. Now, one thing about the slideshow that you have to know is after you hit play, you have to be able to see this little arrow down here in the corner. So if you don't see it, hit Command- or plus so that you can resize the window so you can see this little arrow, because you have to view each one of the pages, and if there are questions in there, you have to get those right also to get 100 on this piece. Now this one here is just a picture showing you what it looks like, so there's nothing to enter on that one. And then when you're done with it, all you have to do is quit and save, or just save. But these buttons down here, you have to be careful. They're based on the entire assignment, not just the slideshow. So if you hit save, it'll save your progress up to that point. If you hit quit and save, it'll drop you out of the assignment. But that's okay because it saves everything that you did. You can go back in, do the order of operations. Notice it kept my correct answers. So that's how the warm-ups are going to work. So when you're done with the warm-ups, you can now get into the rest of the class. So in Module 1, there's a warm-up there that you have to pass, and when you do, you get these green checks. Red checks means you haven't passed it yet, so you have to go back in and try again. Yellow ones mean you have not submitted them. So sometimes you'll have a passing grade, like here you might have 12 out of 14, therefore that's a passing grade. It'll give you a yellow arrow, so in my grade book it doesn't show up, but it'll allow you to move on, But I highly suggest when you get a passing grade, submit the assignment so it turns into a green check. All right, so once you get all these green checks, other things are going to open up like the quiz. This one will have a starting date. It won't have a due date. But the idea behind these are if you fall 3 weeks behind the due date of quiz 1-1, you're attempting getting withdrawn from the course. So those just become my progress indicators. And then as you work your way down here and get all these green checks, eventually the test 1 will open up and you'll take the test. Now a little word of warning. Tests are a very small percentage of the grade. I think it's like 20% if I remember. And therefore, the bulk of the grade is in labs, in the projects, and the work that you do in Mobius, the assignments. So those are where your grades are coming from, not the test. So you shouldn't fret too much about the tests. They're just a way of completing a module. Now, for the grade book, you're going to use grade reports to find your final average, your grade up to that point. It only works real well if you have a grade for each one of the pieces, Mobius work, quizzes, labs and projects, and tests. So here you can see I have done a little bit of work. I got a 2.14 in Mobius work out of 30. But it gives me a 7.14 total grade, which doesn't really make much sense. So basically you need a grade for each one of these pieces before this total grade becomes more accurate. Now if you're looking for past results on an assignment, you can load up this page. It'll show you all your finished work. Or you can narrow it down and say, I want to look at Module 1. I want to look at the 1-1A assignment. And it'll pull up that assignment. And then if you click Details, it'll show you details of these questions. I only did the first one. And that's how Mobius works. Well, any questions for the entire semester, please email me, call me. You can come visit me on certain days and join the meetings that I'm going to set up for you through Google Meet. Good luck.